can pronounce this one. Good morning. Hello, everybody. Get your coffee, whatever. Sit down a little while and let's share some precious time together. Time gets by so fast, but we want to share this time together. And I can pronounce Ephesians. I had trouble with Deuteronomy. I don't know if I said that right or not yesterday. But Ephesians 4:29 says, "Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen." So that's what we work at. We want to benefit each other. If you're going to say something bad, just keep your mouth shut, children. Sin is not ended. This is Proverbs 10:19 says, "Sin is not ended by multiplying words, but the prudent hold of your tongues." It is so easy to say something back not nice. And I tell you what, I can be good at that. And I have done it in the past with some of my brothers who, that's over. I love them all, the ones I have left. And I've been reading this book about being happy. And this one guy was telling how he knew somebody that was always saying, "Oh, I've been so depressed. I don't know what I'm going to do next. Life is so hard." And the guy said, "Well, for one thing, whatever comes out of your mouth, make it positive and upbeat. Don't say that. Only say good things." And you know that's true. So when James has been getting a little negative lately, and that's who I have to work with. Let's talk about this hat. I'll tell you later. This hat cost $42. The price tag is still in it, and I just love it. And they wanted $2 for it. And I said, "How about $1?" And you know they took it. These girls took it that was having the yard sale. But I'm just enjoying this morning, sitting here, enjoying the river and the flowers blowing around in the breeze. And you know that song, "Pretend You're Happy When You're Blue"? When you get down and you get blue, just pretend you're happy. And say happy things. Read happy thoughts. And think happy thoughts. But James, like I said, has been getting a little negative sometimes. And he'll say, "You know, it could be that furnace is not going to work. That house," this house is all we talk about right now. He just got him another house. He says, "Of course, it's working right now, and it probably will be quitting." I said, "There's two sides to that. It might work another 20 years. It's worked this long. How do you know? So turn it on and see what happens." Well, guess what? He turned it on, and it worked great. I said, "If it ain't broke, don't fix it." He said, "You know, that's a good idea." That's in this new, that furnace, I don't know how old he said it was, but this is an old house, and the furnace still works great. Well, if you need to put another one in it, if you rent it and you need to put another one in it, it don't take him no time to put another furnace in. And he usually keeps a spare on hand. Look on the bright side. That's what my mom always said. When I was in California, so down and so out and so lonely, and I heard Nat King Cole sing that song, "Pretend You're Happy When You're Blue," that's what I started doing. Whatever comes out of your mouth, that's what you are. If you're going to go around saying, "Well, I don't feel so good today," when you feel a little bad, don't even mouth it. You just say, "I'm going to be feeling better a little later if I take 2 Advil." Sometimes I take 2 Advil if something happens. But you know what, kiddos? I want to tell y'all that prayed for my leg when my varicose vein was hurting me so bad, and I could show you. It is well. I don't even have to wear a support stocking anymore. I haven't worn now for over a week. No pain, no hurt. It's completely healed. And that's the good news for today. Well, when we was coming up the road, I know y'all want to know what I'm talking about, and I'm going to tell you. It said, down not far, we passed a place that garden center, and they sell vegetables and tomato plants and bushes and flowers and knockout roses, which is my favorite but you got to be sure and watch your knockout roses, because if those little insects get on them, they'll eat the leaves up before you know it, your rose bush is dead. That happened to James on a house, and then he planted a nut. He likes the knockout roses too. And this year we was looking at them, and they are $40, and they were $20 last year. I hope there's some available, because he's getting ready to buy some, and he's got places he wants to plant them already. Okay, where was I? The words of your mouth. Watch what's saying. Anyhow, this guy was saying that every time he'd see this fella, he'd say, well, you know, everything's just going wrong. He said, don't be claiming that all the time. Say, I'm working out what's going to happen. We're going to fix it. Or we're going to do this or that that's good. Not, I'm going to give up and quit. Persevere. I learned that a long time ago, because there's more than one answer to a lot of things that you run into. That's true. You think, don't give up right away. But anyhow, what I saw was, and I'm going to explain it to you, potato seeds for sale. Have you ever seen a potato seed? Do you know what a potato seed looks like? I happen to know all about potato seeds. So I was telling James on the way up here what a potato seed was. Because on the farm, we put out our own garden. And we put out our own tobacco patch, which you're allowed so much tobacco. And that used to be our money crop. And we raised tobacco, and there was a tobacco barn right down the road from where I am now, and the Walmart's there. Good place for a Walmart. But potato seeds, you wait till a potato gets kind of old and it's kind of sprouting. You see them happen to you sometimes. They're kind of sprouting. Okay, when they're sprouting, that sprout is the potato seed. That's what it is. So what we would have to do at home, Mom would save maybe a half bushel potatoes and let them sprout. And then we would sit in the kitchen with buckets, and we would take a knife and cut those potatoes that are getting the green sprouts, starting to sprout like, you cut them up into pieces. Each sprout is a potato seed. And we would cut them up and put them in the bucket, and then we'd go, Daddy would plow up the garden, and he would make a row with his plow, which he had a horse, he hooked to it, and it was just one plow, and it just turned over the ground, and you drop those seeds, about those pieces of potato, ever so often, and then guess what? Your potatoes grow in the heel. You heel up around it, you dig your dirt up around it, and leave it, and your potatoes start sprouting and coming out of the ground. They get about this tall. It takes, I don't remember how long, but we always enjoy getting new potatoes. And little red potatoes, we have different kinds, and Mom would make us, we just couldn't wait for the new potatoes to come on. But what you have to do then is you go pull that green up, and your potatoes are hanging on the bottom of that, and you just shake them off, pull off your potatoes, and take them home. We usually waited till they got big enough, and then we harvested our potatoes for the year, and we put them in baskets, and we put them in the basement, and we would have potatoes for a long time. That's potato seed, potato planting, and that's what we had to do. And you can do sweet potatoes the same way. You cut them, you have to cut them up, put them. Fact is, I know people, and you can buy them at the florist. A sweet potato, just let it vine out as it's coming to seed, and it'll just spread everywhere and look beautiful. People use them for decoration. You all know that probably. I got me a new wig. See this? Now it's a little shorter. I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. I don't think so. I may not wear this one too much. But you know what? It looks good with my new hat. I didn't keep this one in the car. I kept the blue one in the car because I'll put this one in my car. The blue one is the best one because you can see daylight through this one. And the blue one, when you bring it down, it really shades your eyes. But this one lets light through. And I want the light out of my eyes. But this is a lovely hat. We went to a singing last night at a church out in the country, out in Georgetown, Indiana, Indian Creek Baptist Church. And they have singing groups in every so often. So they had this group in called the Trinity Trio. Trinity was their name. And they're three guys, and they could really sing. And they were real good. But they didn't sing too many songs I knew, but they did sing Because He Lives. I Can Face Tomorrow. And I love that song. Because He lives, we can face tomorrow. So they sang, and as I went in, they had been there before, and we go out to their singings quite often because they have them like every 3 or 4 months or closer. And so I stepped in the door, and the one leader, the young man, was shaking hands and greeting people, and I said, I watch you on YouTube. He said, that's what you said last time when you came in. He remembered me. Can you imagine all the people they see? And I didn't have any idea he remembered me, but he did. I said, well, I like watching you on YouTube. So check them out on YouTube. You know what? They had it set up. They had a phone on a stand like I got right here with my iPad, and they filmed and had it set that they could film their whole program, and then they can put it on YouTube. That was so smart. I would like to learn how to do that. But I guess I just am doing it with my iPad. But to keep your phone running that long, and they sang for an hour and talked. And what was so interesting, one of the guys had a 6th child, young man, and he said this last year he had 5. This year he's got 6. And he has delivered every one of them himself. And they're from here in Indiana, not too far away. And so last night they were going to get to sleep in their bed, their own bed. And he had just delivered a new baby last week. He didn't say whether it was a boy or girl, but now they got 6 kids. And another interesting thing, the lead singer was a young man, probably about late 40s. And then the bald-headed guy said he was 73. And so when the lead singer introduced the bald-headed guy, he said, and this is my dad. That was his dad. And he was singing and they've been singing together 6 years, and they're famous. They've been a lot of places and did a lot of singing, and interesting to hear. Now, later on, they're going to have in somebody called the Kirstans, Chirstans. And I looked them up on YouTube, and it's a black family, and they can really sing, so we don't want to miss them. We have interesting things going on here around us. Of course, the Derby's coming up, and I couldn't care less because I am not in. I watch it though, but I don't want to go over there in that crowd. I do not like crowds at all. But they are going to have so many people over there at Churchill Downs, and they have the balloon glow, anyhow, they put them balloons up. They ride in those baskets. I don't know if they had that already or not. But anyway, I usually watch that on TV. They put it on TV. And then they have the Pegasus Parade. And then they have the boat race on the Ohio River. The Belle of Louisville and some other boat, and which one can make it the fastest first. And sometimes I watch all that on TV. I'm not going over there among that crowd. No way, Jose. Because I tell you what, thousands of people come from everywhere. I mean, they come from everywhere. And I'm staying home. I might go out to Indian Creek Baptist Church and watch the singers, but that's a country drive, and it's real pretty. It is a 2-lane road out there, and it don't even have a stripe down the middle. When we go to Indian Creek Baptist Church to hear those singings, but we don't go to church there. We just go to hear the singings. But it seems like a fine little church. It's not a big church, but they're on the ball. So I'm just enjoying this morning, talking to y'all, looking on the bright side. This book I'm reading, Being Happy, and it has got some good reading in it. And the Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if you think bad thoughts and sad thoughts, then that's how you feel. So work on filling your mind with good thoughts. I try to do that. I don't always succeed, but the best thing is don't dwell on stuff that's sad. And there is some sad stuff going on right now with us and with James's secretary. Her brother is seriously ill in the hospital, and he used to work for me, and he's a wonderful man, but he's had some serious health problems, and we pray for him, and James and I have been praying, and others have been praying, and it's really bad. And James's secretary did not come in this morning, and we wonder if something happened. We don't know for sure what's going on, but there's my phone now. Well, I'm not going to answer that one. That was a scam call. But anyhow, he's been seriously ill, and he has a testimony, which he worked for me a few years ago before his feet started giving him trouble, and now he's got serious kidney problems. But he was an alcoholic, and he put in a lot of work for me here at the apartment where I live, and he told me how he drank so much whiskey every day. And then he told me about 15 years ago, and this has been about 4 years ago, he told me this. He said, you know, I was like that for many years, but 15 years ago, probably now 19, he said, you know, I gave my heart to Jesus, seriously, got out on my knees and gave my heart to Jesus. I don't know if he was at church or if he was alone. He said, and I said, God, Jesus, I want to live for you. He said, and this is the truth. He said, and it was about bedtime. He said, and I went to bed. He said, when I woke up that morning, he said, the first thing I would do was drink my whiskey. He kept a quart bottle or something beside him all the time. He said, and you know what? He said, I didn't want it. I just didn't want it. God took that completely away from me. He said, I couldn't hardly believe it. Didn't want it. He said, and from to this day, he said, I've never drank another drop. He said, God instantly delivered me from alcohol. He was a good worker. He worked for James a lot, and he worked for me a lot. And then he started having trouble with his feet. And then he got some kidney trouble. So he hasn't been able to work now for 5 or 6 years. But true story, God delivered him instantly like that from alcohol. And I had a son-in-law, well, grandson-in-law, Melissa's husband, who was an alcoholic, who took his own life. That's what happens to some of them. And I don't like to dwell on it, but if you have a problem with any kind of addiction, give your heart to Jesus seriously and ask God to deliver you from that. And when our good friend gave his heart to Jesus, his name is Bobby. When Bobby gave his heart to God, God instantly took that taste away from him. And to this day, he's never drank another drop. You're not going to be escape trouble all your life, but you've got Jesus to hold your hand, and he's held my hand many times, and he's still doing it. So like my mom says, let's look on the bright side. It's a beautiful day out there today. The sun is shining. The rivers are flowing. My granddaughter, Melissa, the one that drives the 18-wheeler, her boyfriend has bought 11 acres at Marengo, and it's got a creek running through it. So she's going to have to send me pictures. I want to see it. Of course, I might. Marengo is pretty far from here. I doubt if I'll go see it in person, but she could send me a few pictures. Oh, well, it's been good talking to you. God bless you. I'm enjoying this dollar hat so much. I love the color. It goes with everything. I'll put it in my car. So talk to you later. God bless you. Walk that walk where Jesus would be pleased with you. Amen. Bye-bye.